Title: I, 34M, found out my wife 32F has been cheating on me and I don't know who I am anymore. Part 1. I don't even know how to start this. I've been sitting here for almost an hour, staring at the blinking cursor, trying to figure out what to say, how to summarize the last few months of my life. But I don't think there's an easy way to say my wife has been cheating on me. It still feels foreign, like I'm describing someone else's life, not mine. My wife Sarah and I have been together for nearly 10 years, married for 7. We met in college at a mutual friend's birthday party. I remember thinking she was out of my league. She was beautiful, magnetic, the kind of person who made everyone feel seen when she talked to them. I was quieter, more analytical. I studied computer science. She was in marketing. Somehow we clicked. She used to tease me for being her calm, and I used to tell her she was my spark. It was cheesy, I know, but at the time it was true. We balanced each other out. For most of our marriage, I would have told anyone we had something solid. Not perfect. No marriage is, but solid. We had a nice home, a circle of friends, 2 dogs, and what I thought was mutual respect and trust. Looking back, I realize how many little things I ignored. The first real crack started about 6 months ago. Sarah had started a new job at a marketing firm downtown. Big promotion, better pay, a more demanding workload. She was ecstatic. I was proud of her. She'd always been ambitious, and I wanted her to succeed. But with the new job came longer hours, late nights at the office, networking events, texts like "Don't wait up for me, babe," just grabbing drinks with the team. At first, I didn't question it. I'd always trusted her. If anything, I blamed myself for feeling lonely. I figured this was just an adjustment period, her getting used to her new role, me getting used to the new routine. But after a few weeks, the small inconsistency started. She'd say she got home around midnight, but I'd wake up at 2 a.m. to find her slipping quietly into bed. Her perfume would be stronger than usual. I'd smell alcohol, but not the kind she normally drank. Something heavier. I'd ask her about it and she'd laugh it off. We stopped for a nightcap. You know how it is. Then came the phone. Sarah had never been secretive about her phone. She'd leave it on the counter, unlocked, or hand it to me if she wanted me to look something up. But around that same time, she started keeping it on her at all times. Even when she showered, she'd take it into the bathroom and lock the door. One night, her phone buzzed while she was in the shower. Normally I wouldn't have even looked, but the name on the screen caught my eye. Eli, work. Now, I'd heard of this guy before. She mentioned him a few times, said he was one of the project leads she worked with closely. I thought nothing of it, but the preview of the message made my stomach twist. It said, "Can't stop thinking about last night." That's it, 7 words. But they were enough. My first reaction was denial. Maybe it was a joke, an inside reference, or something taken out of context. But the more I stared at it, the more my chest tightened. When she came out of the bathroom, I asked, as calmly as I could, "Hey, who's Eli?" She froze for just a second, a half second maybe before answering. "Oh, he's one of my coworkers," she said, toweling her hair. "Why?" I shrugged, pretending to be casual. "He texted you. Something about last night." She didn't even look at me, just rolled her eyes. "Oh God, he's such a drama queen. He got wasted at the networking mixer and embarrassed himself. Probably just joking." I wanted to believe her, and I did, or at least I forced myself to. But once that seed of doubt was planted, it grew fast. She started dressing differently for work. New outfits, more makeup, perfume I'd never smelled before. She started spending more time working late. Sometimes she'd get home and act distant, barely talking to me. Other times she'd be overly affectionate, like she was trying to make up for something. One night, she came home at almost 3 a.m. I was sitting in the living room, pretending to be asleep on the couch. When she saw me, she jumped. "Jesus, you scared me," she said. I asked her where she'd been. She told me her boss made everyone stay late to meet a deadline. Then they grabbed dinner. Something in me broke a little then. The next day, I started noticing patterns. The time she said she was working late matched the nights she didn't post anything on social media or text much. I started checking her location through Find My iPhone, something I'd never done before. It worked sometimes, but other times it would say location unavailable. When I asked about it, she said her phone was dying or that she turned off location services for battery life. Then came the final straw. A week later, she left her laptop open while getting ready for work. I wasn't snooping, Not at first, but when I walked by, I saw a message notification pop up on the screen. It wasn't from email, it was from Slack, the work chat app. The message preview read, "Still thinking about your lips last night." I froze. My mind just stopped. I didn't open the message, but that was all I needed to see. All the late nights, the secrecy, the distance, it all snapped into focus. She came downstairs and saw me standing by her laptop. Her face changed immediately. "You were going through my messages," she said, defensive. I told her no, I wasn't, but I saw a notification pop up. I said, "What does thinking about your lips last night mean?" Her face went pale, then red. She didn't answer at first. She just looked at me, jaw tightening, eyes wet. Finally, she said, "It's not what it looks like. That sentence is always a lie. Always. We fought. God, we fought. I don't even remember half of what we said." I was shaking, angry, heartbroken, terrified. She kept saying she'd made a mistake, that it just happened, that she didn't mean to hurt me. Eventually, she admitted it. She'd been seeing Eli for about 2 months. She said it started innocently, late-night work sessions, inside jokes, emotional support that turned into something physical. She said she felt neglected because I'd been distant. I work remotely and had been dealing with my own burnout. So yeah, maybe I wasn't as present, but that doesn't justify betrayal. I asked her if she loved him. She didn't answer. That silence told me everything. That was 3 weeks ago. She's been staying with her sister since then, while I've been trying to figure out what the hell to do with my life. The house feels empty, but not in the way I expected. It's not just her absence, it's the absence of who I thought she was. Every corner of this house feels haunted by something fake. The couch where we used to watch movies, the kitchen where she'd dance while cooking, even our bed, all of it feels poisoned. Our friends keep texting, asking if we're okay, and I haven't had the strength to tell them the truth. Her sister knows, obviously, and apparently Eli's wife, yeah, he's married too, found out as well. I heard she's filing for divorce. I haven't made up my mind yet. Part of me still loves her, or at least the version of her I thought existed, but another part of me can't even look at a picture of her without feeling sick. Part 2. The truth hurts, but it sets you free. 3 weeks after Sarah moved out, the house finally stopped smelling like her perfume. For a while, that smell haunted me. It lingered in the bedroom, on the couch, even in the laundry I hadn't done yet. I thought washing the sheets would be the hardest part, but it wasn't. The hardest part was realizing how quickly her absence started to feel peaceful. The first few days alone were brutal, silent mornings, empty nights, too much time to think. But once the noise in my head started to fade, I began noticing something else: clarity. When someone lies to you for long enough, you start questioning your own reality. You second-guess every memory, every conversation. But slowly, piece by piece, I started rebuilding mine. Not the version she gave me, but the truth underneath it. The first crack in her story came by accident. About a week after she left, I got a call from a number I didn't recognize. It was Emily, one of her coworkers. We weren't close, but we'd met a few times at company parties. She sounded nervous. "Hey," she said, "I don't want to get in the middle of anything, but I thought you should know. Sarah didn't just start seeing Eli a few months ago." My stomach dropped. "What do you mean?" I asked. She hesitated, then said, "It's been going on since last year. Everyone kind of knew, but we didn't think it was our place to say anything." I'm sorry. That word, everyone, hit me harder than the rest. Everyone knew. Everyone but me. I thanked her for calling, hung up, and just sat there. I didn't even cry that time. I think I'd already run out of tears. That night, I did something I hadn't had the courage to do before. I went through her old messages. She'd left her iCloud account still logged in on our shared iPad. I know some people would call that invasion of privacy, but at that point, privacy was long gone. She'd already violated it. I wasn't looking for pain, I just needed truth. What I found was worse than anything I'd imagined. There were messages going back nearly a year, flirty at first, then more explicit, then emotional. They had pet names, inside jokes. He told her he loved her, she said it back. They'd gone on business trips together that were really weekend getaways. They'd met up during her lunch breaks. They'd talked about me, even joked about how clueless I was. Reading those words felt like swallowing broken glass. But the strangest thing was what came after the rage: relief. Because finally, I wasn't living in limbo anymore. The uncertainty was over. I wasn't crazy. I wasn't paranoid. I'd been betrayed. Fully, completely, undeniably. And somehow, that truth gave me power. After that night, I stopped checking her social media. I stopped rereading our old texts. I stopped trying to figure out why. Instead, I started focusing on me. I went back to therapy twice a week. started running again, reconnected with friends I hadn't seen in months. I even started taking guitar lessons, something I'd always wanted to do but never made time for. For the first time in years, I wasn't living for someone else's approval. I was just living. Still, healing isn't linear. There were nights I'd wake up at 3 a.m., replaying our fights, wondering if I could have stopped it. Days where I'd see her name pop up on a delivery email or shared subscription and feel that familiar ache. But then, there were mornings I'd wake up, make coffee, sit in the quiet sunlight, and realize I was okay. About 2 months after she left, she texted me, "Sarah, hey, can we talk?" Me, "About what?" "Sarah, about us. I've been going to therapy too. I miss you." I didn't reply right away. I let it sit for a day. Then I agreed to meet. We met at a small cafe, halfway between our places. When she walked in, I barely recognized her. She looked thinner, tired, nervous, not the confident woman who'd walked out on me, more like a ghost of her own choices. She started crying before we even ordered. Told me she'd made the biggest mistake of her life, that Eli had been a fantasy, that he'd gone back to his wife and cut her off. I listened. I didn't yell, didn't cry, I just listened. She said she wanted to try again, that she'd do anything to rebuild what we had. For a moment, the old reflex kicked in, that instinct to fix, to comfort, to make it okay. But then I remembered those messages, those jokes, the way she looked me in the eye and lied for months. I took a deep breath and said, "I loved you more than anything, but I don't think I can ever trust you again." She started sobbing, said she understood, said she hoped someday I could forgive her. Maybe I will, but not today. After that meeting, I felt lighter. It was like closing a book I'd been stuck rereading for too long. I started finalizing the divorce paperwork soon after. She didn't fight it. In therapy, my counselor asked me what I'd learned from all this. I thought about it for a long time. The answer surprised me. I said, I learned that love isn't just about loyalty to someone else. It's about loyalty to yourself. Because for years, I defined myself through her moods, her needs, her validation. And when she cheated, it shattered not just my trust in her, but my sense of self. Now, I'm building that back. Last week, I went on my first date since everything happened. It wasn't anything serious. Just coffee with a woman I met through a mutual friend. We talked about books, travel, bad office coffee. She made me laugh. For the first time in months, I didn't feel broken. When I got home, I looked around my house, the same walls that once felt like a tomb, and realized they finally felt like mine again. No ghosts, no resentment, just peace. It's funny, I used to think closure came from getting answers, from confronting the person who hurt you. But now, I see it's quieter than that. Closure is just accepting that the story didn't end the way you wanted, and choosing to keep living anyway. Sarah texted me again last week. Just a short message. "I'm glad you're doing okay. You deserve happiness." I didn't reply, not out of anger, but because I didn't need to. I'd already said my piece. I know this post will probably get lost in the sea of others, but if someone out there needs to hear it, you can survive this. You can survive betrayal, heartbreak, the hollow mornings and sleepless nights. You can survive losing the person you thought was your forever. And one day, without even realizing it, you'll wake up and realize you're not just surviving, you're living again. That's where I am now, and honestly, it feels damn good.